award-winning national security, border security investigative for radio, TV, print media, TV correspondent, CW News 6 San Diego, One America News Network. Kimberly, let me ask you a personal question, okay? Are you all wet?
Sure.
Are you all wet? Because I saw a Facebook posting of, I think it was your car windshield, and the rain was coming down, and I thought you were going to be in Phoenix,
No, I think
Phoenix, Arizona.
That was actually shaking off this morning from DC. It was pouring down rain when I left, and I just landed back in San Diego, and that's why I'm not doing my streaming Periscope online, because I literally just got off the plane. So
it wasn't it wasn't the car, it was the airplane window, and you weren't
Exactly.
sitting over the wing, were you?
No, I was not doing that.
All right.
Earlier, maybe in the evening, I may have been, but not then.
I know I'm taking up some valuable time, but it's just like, I think a lot of people flying now, they think about that poor lady sucked out of the, and then there was some pilot, foreign pilot, that went out the front window, because, boy, I just
and then
know.
just now, there was just a Cuban plane that went down just a few minutes ago, and only 3 survivors. So.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, my initial
people.
my initial report said there was something like 140 on board, I think it was. So
yeah,
only 3.
Pretty bad.
Oh my goodness, terrible! And another
Yeah.
shooting. But before we get to the important part, whatever you want to talk about, I know crazy California, and things going out there. But I understand that you met the one and only retired Marine General John F. Kelly. He's the White House Chief of Staff. Wow.
I did.
I know he's a Marine, so
did.
I don't even need to go any further. Like, how'd you run into him?
Yeah.
People think I'm joking when I talk about you and your
No,
Marines.
No, actually, last night I was at an event over at the Army-Navy Club, and he happened to be attending the event. And, being myself, I just, walk right up in front of everybody else, and I don't matter if there's still, the Secret Service or a line of people. I just directly walk up to him and shake his hand and thanked him for his service, and told him that, some of us out here in California think he's doing a really good job, and keep up the good work, and much appreciated. And he was super sweet, and I think I even texted. He had gorgeous blue eyes. I didn't realize how stunning his blue eyes were. So,
well, here you got stunning blue eyes.
May not appreciate that comment, but
here's stunning blue eyes on one side of the Army-Navy Club, and then here's the beautiful blonde. That would be, what's her name, Kimberly? Yeah. And the two shall meet, and I think the guy's married, and no telling what the heck was going on there.
Well,
but he spent 40 years.
There's not many blondes out there. Yeah, so it's easy for me to get attention. There's not many of us out there in D.C. So
I want to tell the listeners, it would be a privilege, meeting the General John Kelly. 40 years he spent in the Marines. 40 years, 3 tours of Iraq.
Good guy. And lost his son in Iraq and didn't speak about it. Actually spoke to a couple of people that were at the event that actually knew that his son he had known that his son had passed away, and he spoke at 3 different events and didn't even mention that he had lost his son's life. His son had died from fighting for this country, and on like the 4th day he finally made a mention of it. But that's the kind of guy he is. And just a cool cucumber, and very. You can see everybody is attracted to him in the room for sure. Yeah. He attracts presidents for sure.
His son, Lieutenant Robert Michael Kelly, he died in Afghanistan, and he was a leader of a platoon there. And there were people that were a little upset with President Obama, and I kind of remember that. Because, Trump and a lot of presidents, they call, high-ranking officials, and especially, they want to do that whenever you lose somebody, and they'll say, I'm sorry for your loss. But I don't think he got a call from President Obama. But the interesting thing was that they had a special thing, and he actually and his wife sat at Michelle and President Barack Obama's table. They were the special guest at something. I don't know if it was, for the Golden Mothers or not, but I guess it was the word got out, and Obama probably felt bad if he didn't call. But and I'm not even sure if he didn't call, but it's just kind of
I think it's generally very kind of a personal thing. I know when you get up to being a lieutenant general in the military, you follow protocol, and it's it's about duty to your country, not yourself or worrying about your family. And that's, even give Joe Biden some credit. He doesn't really talk about his son that's over there too much, and also Vice President Pence. There's a lot of people serving in the Middle East now, and they're just quietly serving and doing their job and protecting the country the best they can, and we certainly respect that, and we respect your service as well, and it's a honor to get to meet some of these people that I get to meet every now and then. So there are some good guys out there.
on the outcome of meeting him, I know now you've got this connection, and he knows who you are, right? He knows that you know Chuck Wilder, right?
No, I am not going to go work for the White House. No, thank you.
No, I was just asking, that you told him how important you are, and that, you're on this show, once a week. I figured that now you're going to be getting interviews and special calls and updates from him and exclusives,
It does. I do. I will get more interesting information, that's for sure. I'll put it that way.
I'm going to tell you what happened to me. And so I shoot my mouth off and get in trouble a lot of times because I try to be funny, and sometimes it backfires. Okay, I was a rock and roll disc jockey, and I was in West Texas. All right, and I hadn't been out of the Navy that long. I'm thinking maybe 2 years. And you mentioned, you were at the Army Navy Club, and here you run into this Marine. See, well, the Marines are part of the Navy. And I was mentioning this on my radio show, and I remember I think I was a nighttime disc jockey then before I'd become more important or whatever, or learned how to say the words better. Yeah. Anyway, we had to run public service announcements all the time, and so we ran a public service announcement, and it was for the United States Marine Corps. And when it came out, I said, the Marines actually, they're part of the Navy. And I said, if you go to a Navy base, I said, you will find usually like 2 Marines guarding the gates at every single Navy base. And I said, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give them credit. They have been guarding those gates for over 400 years, and they haven't lost one yet. And Kimberly, I get the hate calls? My goodness. Wow, it wasn't funny to those Marines. So anyway.
Well, they're tip of the spear. They do that. They always joke with the Navy that whenever they need a ride to get to a war or something, they always hitch a ride with the Navy. So
yeah.
You know how that goes back and forth.
Go ahead, land us. We'll fight the war, and you guys get back out there out of range. I know. Yeah. Absolutely. So anyway, well, hey, I've enjoyed this chit chat. But listen, here's something real important, okay, if you're ready to switch gears. The state of California has decided, well, we can forget Washington and Lincoln's birthday, all right, and let's celebrate May Day, and it'll make California great again. Now, you tell the listener, because I talked about it yesterday a little bit because I knew you were coming on, tell them about May Day. Oh, isn't it? Is this where you go around the flagpole? And isn't it wonderful?
Yes. Well, what I will say about May Day is most people in this country don't really know what it is, but it's traditionally a communist holiday. Right. So back on May Day of this year, a few weeks ago, I think we can all remember the pictures in Paris, France, when the anarchists completely destroyed a neighborhood and they were celebrating May Day. And it's actually a Russian holiday. And it's quite interesting that California would like to just get rid of the Washington and Lincoln holidays, just call that a President's Day, and then on May 1st celebrate this May Day, this,
Yeah, well, let me ask you
holiday.
something real quick. You talk about, okay, this is California, and May Day, Russia. Is this a California collusion with the Russians?
That's why I put that, I think, in my opening paragraph, because I didn't know if these congressmen actually knew what they were doing. But the irony is not lost, I think, on a lot of this. Yet, this is something they want to celebrate, and yet they all think that the president colluded with the Russians. And I think, what appalled me the most is not that, they just wanted to have a holiday where everybody gets a day off school and all that. But included in this bill is they want to educate in schools, whether it's a charter school or whether it's, K through 12. Teachers are going to have to educate students on Workers' Rights Day. And to me, I just sat there, I'm like, so not only are we just going to be, celebrating the communists, I mean, now we're going to be teaching that. And, in California, with 65% of eighth graders not even be able to read at grade level, I think we have other things we ought to be teaching our students. But they've put this through the process. It's gone through. It passed out of committee. It was set for a vote. They voted no for it, but the congressmen and the committee that put forth again have said, nope, we're trying again. And it's going to get back onto the calendar, and you're going to see another vote on this. And
now,
they just don't want to give up on this fact.
In your report, it was Assembly Bill 3042, introduced by Assemblyman Member Miguel Santiago. So is it going to have a new bill number now, or what?
No, it'll be the same one. And if you go on and you look at this, the legislative, .org, where it lists all the bills, it says that it's been resubmitted. So it's right now waiting for, the assembly to take it up and vote on it again. And again, you just have to look at, California is a supermajority in the Democrat side. The likelihood of something like this passing could happen, and if it was going to happen anywhere, it would happen in this state. And I tell you, talking about the military and talking about this story with them, and a lot of them were saying, can we just, forget the whole California wants us to secede? Can we just, kick them out? Let's just build a new border. We'll kick them out because
get
we're
a
tired
giant
of it,
saw, and
exactly.
the hard parts when you go to the hard parts when you go through Lake Tahoe,
Yeah, well, but that's their feeling. They're like, we're fighting and dying for this country, and this is what these people in Sacramento and California want to do. Can we just get this over with? We'll just cut them off. No more.
You mentioned party, but let this soak in, listener. And the main thing I want to soak in for you is, remember, it's AB 3042. Okay, AB 3042. Miguel Santiago, my goodness, go back, please. Anyway, here's the bill, all right. Instead of observing Washington Day, Lincoln Day as separate holidays, school holidays, they want to designate the third Monday in February as a single school holiday, and that'll be called President's Day. And then, let's see, they're going to designate May 1st, International Workers' Day, and closes the school or schools as applicable on a Monday or Friday of the week in which May 1st occurs to observe International Workers' Day. You know what?
Yeah.
And the average kid, like you say, what I just read, they couldn't even read half of that, and I barely struggled through it. What in the world is wrong with these people?
It's beyond belief. That's what's wrong with these people. It's unbelievable to think that this is what they feel that these kids need to learn this. I mean, they're not even learning about the history of this country anymore. Maybe they ought to learn some history, and then when they get to International Workers' Day or May Day, they can see what it's really all about. I mean, like I said, there were various violent anarchist protests on May Day this year, and they want to bring that to the state of California. That's what they're looking for. I think we know what it is they want to get to where they're celebrating Chavez, Day in California, and they wanted to get paid to do that. And I think that's where they're headed in this state. And again, I just don't think that that's really, teaching kids what they need to do right now. They can't even read and write. So maybe we got to start with that. And
Kimberly, when I went to high school, we had state history, which a lot of people don't do that, but they did. State history, United States history, and we had world history. And that would take care of May Day, all right? And you mentioned in your article there's a satirical publication called Onion, and David Nunes, Republican from California, he said, this is not an onion. This is really happening in California. And wow. Well,
and he's obviously from from Central California, and he's actually a rancher by trade. So for this,
he knows what Workers' Day is.
I think he's stunned. Yeah, he's stunned on top of that.
All right. Well, listen, Kimberly and I are going to work up a little bit more steam here. Right after the break, we'll come back, and I'm telling you, it's not surprising because it's California. Make sure you know how to reach Kimberly Dvorak and get all her excellent stuff. It's thekdreport.com, and you spell the last name DVORAK, Facebook, everywhere, and normally streaming live at Periscope, but her Periscope's down right now, so that's a whole new story. We'll be right back with my guest, Kimberly Dvorak, thekdreport.com. She also has another report you'll find there. It's about terrorists lobby U.S. lawmakers. I mean, boy, what in the world? It's like so many things going on, Kimberly. What else is on your mind here you want to talk about?
Well, I think that one of the important stories that needs to be talked about is this Iranian story, and the fact that a lot of Islamist groups are actually working to, go in and actively pursue a relationship with Congress. And they're doing this under the auspice of saying, hey, we agree, and we believe that that illegal immigration is a tough issue here, and we don't want people to curtail that situation, or we believe in DACA, or we believe in name your liberal topic. So what they're doing is they're going into lobby in lawmakers on Capitol Hill, and then when there's an issue like some sort of Muslim, something happens, maybe there's a terrorist attack in Paris and they need somebody to talk about it, what happens is somebody from the congressional office goes, hey, well, so-and-so was just in here, and he's been donating, he's really up on this immigration stuff, and we need to know a little bit more about this Muslim issue. Call them up, and we'll get their point of view on what we need to do. So you can get the picture how now they're buying and currying political favor, which, I mean, to that person, you would think.
Well, once again, we flash back to the former president, Barack Obama, who, and we would say there are so many members of the Muslim Brotherhood that are right now working in the White House with the Obama administration. People, you're crazy. They're not doing that. Janice Kephart, you mentioned her in your article, Center for Immigration Studies. She was on the 9/11 Commission, but also, and I have people that, even testified on that. Mike Cutler was one of those. They do these, and here's what we need to do, and they do it nothing at all. They're still letting them in.
There's not only are they still letting them in, but they're taking their advice and they're saying, they're saying that what they're doing is no big deal. They're very moderate people, and that's just simply not the case. And there are several of them in this country that actually are. And the Middle East Forum is an organization that I work with, and they're the ones that have kind of highlighted this point and have been asking for Congress to stop the Islamist activation. They call it Activist Day, where they go up on the Hill and a few weeks ago they were in pictures with terrorists, known terrorists, and affiliations with known really radical terrorists, with Cory Booker, a senator from New Jersey, with Adam Schiff, a favorite pundit out there talking negatively about Devin Nunes and doing anything about this Russia investigation. But you're looking at people that are actually, associating with real terrorists, and they're getting away with this. And
what it is.
So
unfortunately, the people that should be getting the word out, the mainstream media, they hate Trump. So it all ties in, and you know what? It's going to come up and bite them in the rear end if they're not careful. Kimberly, we're all out of time. Glad we got hook up here. A couple of minutes late, but that's great. And look forward to the next meeting. All right.
Okay, perfect. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, Jack.
All right. The